This morning, I'm starting off, I don't know what they're talking about, so I'll just leave it up to them, they can tell you. Cindy will be starting off, the newest person that has gone. Then Bill and Jan, I don't know if they'll come up separately or together. That's their second time. Then Betty Jo, and I think Fred's coming up, but his name's on here, but he looks awful quiet back there. So I'm not sure. And then Deb will finish off. So then Deb and I'll probably take questions at the end. So.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Makes me a little nervous getting up here talking in front of people, but this is my first time over there, and man, what a wonderful trip. There's so much more that goes on over there than what we even know. You know, Kevin and Susan talk to us, and we read about it, and we pray for them, and we know a lot about what goes on. But to actually see it, it's just amazing. It's just so much more amazing and more in depth than what you can even imagine, at least for me. I mean, I know they grow their own crops, I know they take care of their children, I know they have a school, I know, we know all this, but to actually see how much actually goes on, how many workers they have, how much food they go through, how much administration things go on, how much, just how much actually goes on is just amazing. It's just so much more in depth. We started out our trip with a long flight. I slept through most of it, thankfully. So exhausted after finishing school and everything. But we got over there and we went on a safari. That was amazing, just to be right in there amongst the animals and how they're protected. The elephants and the rhinos, I thought there was one more that have 24-hour guards that walk around with them all the time. And we got the elephants come right up to our truck, and we got to pet them. Later on, the next morning, we went on another safari. We went on a night one and a daytime one. The elephants come right up where we were eating. We got to eat out in the bush. Got to eat right along the lake out there. It was really pretty. And the elephants come right up to the rock. We were up higher than they were. And they put their trunks up on the rock. And they lifted them up. And we put the food down in there. And they ate them. It was really cool. I was sitting on the rock. And after I gave the elephant his food, he decided he wanted to taste my hair. So he had his trunk in my hair. I think he just likes gray hair. I don't know. It was just really cool to touch them and be around them and have them be friendly towards us. The warthogs that were running around were just as ugly as they are in Lion King. They were like dogs running around our truck. And they wouldn't let the giraffe eat food, because the driver would go out and put some food down once in a while and bring the animals in. And they were fighting over the food, and the poor giraffe didn't get any. It was just really cool to see all the animals just in their natural habitat and around. There was a lion behind the fence. There were a couple of animals that were behind the fence, and one of them was a lion. And I got right up beside the fence and knelt down and got some pictures, and we looked at each other like we were talking and just having a good time. We stayed in a house. Where was that? In Miri? No, not the safari, but the. Where was it? Rest Haven. Yes, it was like a house that had a bunch of rooms in it, like a cabin type house, and lots of spiders. But, they don't have any heat over there, so it was very cold. But it was fun just being together, all of us being together and sharing meals and sharing time. And it was nothing to take 2 hours every meal when we went to go out to eat somewhere, because they just didn't understand that people come in, you serve them, and on your way, you're on your way. We went to Victoria Falls too, a really it's just like Niagara Falls. When I think of Niagara Falls, because I've been there, it's all the power of the awesomeness of the water. Just powerful as it comes over the falls. It was just really pretty. It was like walking through a jungle rainforest, because it was raining on me all the time, all the mist rising and falling. It was really cool. When we got out to the mission, it was a very long ride in the back of a truck, back of the Land Rover. But once we got out there and started meeting the kids, and all the activity that the kids are in, and the sewing classes every afternoon, and their sports, and it was very different. You know, here in the States, we go to work and we just plow through and we work hard and we take a half-hour lunch, some of us, and then you work in the afternoon and then you go home in the evening and sometimes you work some more. They start working around 7-ish in the morning, and by 10 they have tea time for 15 or 30 minutes, and then you have lunch at noon to 2 o'clock, so you're out for 2 hours, and then you work a few more hours in the afternoon. It's like, really? But it's different. It's different. But it was like about 70 degrees temperature over there. They thought it was cold. I thought it was nice. But we got to go see the kids about 3 nights. We did a VBS for the kids one night, and they just really, really enjoyed that. We watched, they laughed, they played. Another night we just went out to visit. The first night we went out to visit, and all the kids come out, and we were playing with them and on the play equipment and just being there with them. And we started taking pictures. They wanted to be in all the pictures. And then they wanted to see the pictures, you know, and in the age of technology, you can actually turn your camera around and see it. And they were all looking and seeing the pictures. And they just thought that was the coolest thing. We got to eat with them one night, and that was different. I really didn't mind the sudsud. I thought it was pretty good. It just reminds me of really thick cream of wheat. That's kind of their main staple. But everyone was so nice, and the kids played, and they were happy, and they just don't know. And, you know, nowadays the kids here, with all their technology, they think it would be boring over there. I don't know. Our days were just filled with helping and hoping we were ministering to Kevin and Susan, and doing lots of projects. And I got to paint. I got to help at the school. I got to help these kids do math, and that's what I do at school, is a lot of math. So that was really fun. I spent 2.5 hours with one boy one day, trying to get him through his timetables paper. And at first, when I started helping him, he was like, I don't know these, and I don't want to work on this. And there were times, the teacher let me do a times table page with 5th graders. And so I go around each one, and they would have 3 minutes, they have to have no mistakes. And there were 60 problems. After about an hour of working with this kid, he was getting really frustrated. So I said, well, let's take a break. So he took a break. He started working on something else. And then I went back to him. And the more he worked, and the more it was like, you know, he was grinning by the end. And I got a picture of the class at the end, and he was the one grinning the most because he got through that paper. After 2.5 hours. I'm like, whew, that was a long time. We did a lot of shopping when we were in town before we went out to Kevin and Susan's, and bartering with those guys out there. It's kind of, you're not used to it, but like kind of like in your face. But that was interesting. Carmen and I went into this area where you could see snakes. And I didn't get the picture up here, but I was going to put one up here just for Daryl. Carmen and I went in and we held a couple of snakes, and we held a chameleon. And that was pretty interesting. It was just really, really cool as a first timer going over there and just seeing how in depth, how much God has really blessed this mission. How much they do, how much they grow their stuff, how much they're trying to they're always trying to grow more things and incorporate more stuff and trying, start some things in their greenhouse and just really, really using what the Lord has given them to the best of their ability. They throw hardly anything away. And the first time somebody said, "Oh, just throw that away," I'm like, "Did you just say throw it away?" Because there was nothing thrown away. If the dogs don't eat it or they can't compost it, then they throw it away. But there's not much that they waste, and not like we do here. And it was just amazing. I'm so thankful and blessed that I got to go on this trip. It really opens your eyes to a different part of the world. Different part of the world. So, thank you.
First of all, thank you so much for your prayers. They are so needed as we travel to and from and during all our episodes. It's a blessing, and I thank you so much. One of the blessings this time on our trip was meeting with our sponsored little girl in the cottage as we went there for dinner, and which was very nicely served by the children. And we had experienced this before, and this time we were given a fork and plate, which was to eat with, and before we had eaten with our fingers, so that was progress here. But I was so impressed by the house mothers, because they really set the tone in the grouping, because it's supposed to be a family-oriented program, and you could see that it was so well done, and the house mothers were just so pleasant, peaceful. As they entered the cottages, just like the peace and joy of the Lord was there. And you could tell this with the children. The older ones, one of the older boys had devotions and prayer, and then he asked for us to share what we wanted to share about the devotion he had given. And so we gave a word, both of us gave a word of encouragement and for the Christian life, how it's not always easy, but it's important that we stay faithful. And then night we gave the little girl her presents, and that was an exciting time for everybody. And then they sang and danced for us. That's very much their culture. Everybody loves to sing and dance, and it's really beautiful. So that was very, very special. And as for other things that we went, I had this special treat of meeting Daryl's mother. So Kay and I were the ones who did the little sewing every day, and we sewed one stitch at a time, literally, sewing on labels. And what else did we sew? We ironed after we prepared the suits for the boys and the dance uniforms for the girls as they were preparing to go to convention. And they are leaving or have left today for convention. So we pray for those youth that are going. It's an exciting time for them. But as they prepared, they had sewing projects, and as we were sewing on our labels, they were working on their projects for convention. And we're very excited about the whole process. And I just really am so impressed by the whole ministry over there, because there are many facets of ministry. You have the agriculture, you have the medical clinic, and you have the children's village, and everything. Everyone is in unity, and that is so important. Even as a team, as we go in, that's very important. So I thank you for your prayers again, and it's just been a super privilege to go again. And the journeys were very difficult, But the ministry was successful, and that's the most important part.
Well, this is the second trip for me, and it's a little better this time because my doctor gave me a pill to knock me out into sleep. And it's a long flight. I spent my time, prior to leaving here, talking to Kevin and what I could do to help. When I was over there last time, they had a whole box of bicycles by the back door where they lived before, in the big basic house up there. And I put those all together, and I fixed screens up there. These are old screens with metal frames that you can put a rubber gasket around to seal them. And he wanted some screen doors, so I went online and found a couple of different types of screen doors they're magnets. You've probably seen them advertised. There's two different types. So I took those over there and installed screen doors in this house. And I spent most of my time at the other house up there, rolling in, going through all the house and rebuilding all these screens, which is a big job. It took me 3 or 4 days just to get the screens done. So when the insects get in there, because they have a real problem with insects, wasn't that time of year when they're there, it wasn't bad. But later on it gets to be pretty bad with mosquitoes and insects, so hopefully they'll have a problem. The other animal that was behind the fence was the hyena, and that was, we got a good look at that. Also, Kevin and I took a helicopter ride over the falls. And he made a video, I bought a video, and Kevin remade that. And I was going to try to send it out in an email, but it was too big to send out as an email attachment. So when I sent out my email to people, I sent a link to YouTube, and there's a beautiful National Geographic video of those falls available on YouTube. I suggest you go there and look at it, because that falls is 1 mile across. It's a big, big falls. And it all goes down to one single gorge. Also, when I was over there last time, Gerald bought one of these little tractors. And I decided I wanted one of these because I had room to get in my suitcase this time. These people, these guys in one area, sit beside the road with a fire in a piece of metal, like a piece of railroad tie and a hammer, and make these things. Now, I'm going to leave this sit out there. You got to imagine how hard it is to cut a rubber tire. And they cut that rubber and put that on there. This whole thing is hand painted. And you can steer it. It's ingenious. It's just, they even had some semis. We didn't stop at that one. I probably would have bought a semi, but with trailer and everything else. But I'm a little disturbed right now because this morning when I picked this off the floor, there was a pile of sawdust underneath this truck. And there was a hole inside here. So I'm not sure if the insect was under the paint and bored its way in, or inside and bored its way out. There's nothing in there. I'm a little concerned what I have in my house now that I brought back from over there. So we're going to do a little search and a little spray, because I just don't know what it is. And I'm a little worried about that, I'll be frankly honest, because I have no idea what I had brought home from Zimbabwe. But anyway, I'll leave it out there so you can look at it, and because I'm very impressed with it. It's very ingenious to sit beside the road with a fire and a piece of metal and make these things. They had a bunch of them, $10. Big investment. So I'll set it outside after. But it's a really an experience to go there, and we took a gift to the kids and all, and they just went crazy. Remember, we could shoot, and kids were playing with these, and we went to see them. And the first, we went and babysit one day where the girls were all having some party, and we had another girl, same name as the one we support. Well, we thought that was our girl. Well, they have two girls with identical names. One is 5 and the other is, 3. So that when we finally went out to eat that night, we went to the other one. So 2 girls with the same name. And, but they were just having a ball. I took a lot of pictures and stuff. But it's a great experience. It's a challenging ride. Going over, you couldn't ask for anything better. Coming back, absolute disaster. We left at Harare 1 hour late, got to Ababa, whatever it is, left there 5.5 hours late, got to Washington, D.C. airport, missed our flight to Chicago. So two people they sent from that airport over to the Ronald Reagan airport and sent them to Chicago. This Delta did all this. They said, "Well, put all your bags on this 5 o'clock flight. They'll all be in Chicago when you get there." 3 people went via Cleveland to Chicago. 6 of us went via Detroit to Chicago. But when we get to Detroit, we find out that our plane is not there. It's already an hour and 45 minutes late, and they hadn't even left New Jersey yet. So Fred and I came up with the idea, great idea. We went and found a car, rented a truck, a van, and drove ourselves back. All the bags, I'm not sure if they all made it to Chicago. 3 bags never made it. Finally delivered to Mary Jo's on Tuesday morning. So, disaster coming back, great going over, but it's an adventure. Probably the last one I'll make at my age. So, who's next? Ready, Joe. Ready, Joe.
One of the greatest things about going in our busy lives, you never spend 2 or 2.5, 3 weeks with other people. It just doesn't happen. And over the years, that's been one of the greatest blessings to me, is the new people God sends into my life. This is Carmen. Carmen didn't know she was going to speak this morning, but she's been on 2 trips with us. She actually came back and went with us again. You can believe it. But she's going to talk to you for a second about the greatest thing. We don't talk much about what a joy it is. Carmen doesn't have any children, and she's going to tell you about that joy she has by being a sponsor, because I think it's important, because we need more sponsors.
Amen. Thanks for that. Well, the first time I went was 2 years ago. Gosh, I'm gonna cry. I feel like the kids pick you. Like, you have no choice over who you sponsor. Like, you're chosen. Like, they just look at you and you're like, oh, that's the one. So, this time, 2 years later, I got to see her, and she's almost 3 now. She's real somber, kind of like, doesn't get excited real much. But Betty Jo was awesome and brought like 1 million suitcases full of toys. So she gave me like one of these little pink balls that you can probably get for 25 cents at Dollar General. And that little pink ball was like what brought her out of her shell. It was great to see. Like, she was jumping around and laughing, and it was really cool to see the progress that she has made. That being said, it's really amazing to see the joy that the kids have. And I just think about, I'm a teacher, and I think about my students, and they get so frustrated over, oh, I only have an hour of iPad time. I'm like, oh, my life is over. These kids are like, they're okay, like, give me a stick and a ball made out of bags, and I'm going to live for Jesus. You know, they're just so happy. And I think that's my biggest takeaway from my trips is, you know, guys, our life really isn't that bad. Like, we have so much to be thankful for. And, 2 years ago, my life was a wreck. And just the joy that they have, it almost makes you feel guilty. It's like who they are in these little dirt houses, and they just have Jesus, and they're ready to spread them more than I discipled them. So it's been great.
I surprised her with speaking this morning, but didn't she do a good job? See, I think Carmen is a single lady, a teacher, and she comes up with the funds, although it's not always easy every month to sponsor a child. So I just want you to think about it. I mean, a little sacrifice, she said. A pop here, a pop there, going out to lunch. I think the benefit, like she said, you receive from doing that far outweigh giving up a little something. Today I want to talk to you about relationships a lot. The people we meet, like Carmen, and we've stayed close to over the years. But the workers, this year we kind of focused on, we want to be about bringing help and joy to the people there. Because you know, they've got to get tired. And we were thinking about ways we could do. And the ladies over there, not by the mission, but their life in general and their culture, ladies are very devalued. Women are like the bottom of the rung. And white women are under the bottom of the bottom. So you kind of got to be kind of careful when you're out in public what you do. And I can't be my touchy-feely, happy, too much self because they take that wrong, you know. So you learn a lot as you travel to different countries. But God just laid it on my heart about 6 months before we went. And I said, you know, I think we ought to do a ladies' tea. We ought to do something for the workers there, the ladies, to show them they're special. We all like to have teas, and it's just fun. And then I thought, boy, I'd like to take them all a gift. And Fred's like, oh boy, you know, here we go. And I just started praying, and we took them all a beautiful scarf. And once the word got out, I had people bringing me scarves left and right. And we did this whole hour that's the party Bill was referring to. These guys of ours, Fred and Bill and Daryl, man, they're something special. We know they are here, but they went and spent almost 2 hours with these kids, entertaining them. And I tell you, Fred, I don't think he quit smiling the rest of that day. He loves these kids. It's so weird to me. We would go over to the mission. They'd go to him over me. I'm not really used to that, you know. But being there that day and spending that time with them, they felt like he was their buddy. And so the little boys that we sponsor, they were all following him around. And it's like, I'm here, you know. But that brought much joy to my heart. Jan gave our devotion that day, and we made over 400 cookies. There were 77 ladies in attendance. And I kept getting these ideas from God as we went, and I thought, oh, you know how that coloring stuff is really in for adults now? You know, we all did it in secret for years, but now we actually have adult coloring books. So we got verses, and every lady at their table had a verse to color. Well, we take that advantage. Some of those ladies had never colored before. And they were anywhere from their 20s to their 60s. And they were just getting such joy out of coloring this little paper. You and I, we wouldn't realize that, but they were laughing. And Jan did a wonderful job speaking, and we sang some songs. And those ladies came up, man, they get into it. They're singing songs and clapping. And then we had our tea and coffee, and Cindy made a great point. When they came, they were very stoic because they didn't know what to expect. So they just came in, you know. When they left, they were singing, and they hugged us. See, because we broke a barrier. We showed them, you don't have to do anything. They just kind of sat there, and that was not normal for them. And so that was such a joy to see the joy on their faces. That Susan said, Betty, this is something nobody has done, to just show them their value. not just seeing them, just for one day, feeling special, touched me so much, because they don't feel valued. And for them to say, oh, thank you so much, this was the greatest. And we made a little invitation. It was not